Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
From a spiritual perspective, for such a time as this, Donald Trump, of all people, to be, as you said earlier in the interview, the most conservative president, I mean, does it kind of, in a way, blow your mind that, someone like Donald Trump, who is sitting in the Oval Office, I mean, I know you can list the accomplishments, but at the same time, just from a spiritual perspective, there are a lot of Christians that believe for such a time as this.
I think God calls all of us to fill different roles at different times, and I think that he wanted Donald Trump to become president, and that's why he's there. And I think he has done a tremendous job in supporting a lot of the things that people of faith really care about.
What? What did she just say? What? They're all doing evangelical TV now. You have Azar on the evangelical TV, got Sarah on the evangelical TV, all saying that God, Mike Pence says this too, that God wanted Donald Trump. I'm assuming it's some sort of punishment. I don't know what, don't you think like raining frogs would have been more merciful than this? Who knew God likes an orange clown man? I did not know that God would send an orange clown, an evil clown, to be his messenger. I don't know what. It has to be a punishment, right? It has to be a punishment. Couldn't he just, rain down storms and hellfire? Oh, he did that. He did. Oh, okay. All right. I get the. We're being punished. You know that, right? We are. We're being punished. I think God calls each of us to fill different roles at different times. And I think that he wanted Donald Trump to become president. To prove what? That if you break the commandments, you end up being an evil orange clown? I don't even... This man has broken every commandment you can think of. Love thy neighbor. We're going to build a wall. We need a stinking wall. We got to call it a wall. Today's tweeting. We got to call it. It's not going to be a barrier. It's not going to be... Now I want it to be called a wall. It's going to be a wall. I mean, that is love that. Committing adultery. Grabbing women by the, bearing false witness, just lying his ass off. What amendment has he ever respected of the amendment commandments? These listen, you could take the Jesus, you can have him, okay, as your personal Lord and Savior. I'll give you him, because I got the Moses. And the Moses and the Ten Commandments, as you know, are very sacrosanct to me. They mean something to me. And this president has violated each and every one of them, except for maybe he never beat his kids or something. I don't know, because, spare the rod, spoil the I mean, look at his Beavis and Butthead twins. I mean, these are the worst, they are the most vomit-inducing children. And Ivanka, she is just like the Devil's Advocate movie, that one with Keanu Reeves overacting throughout it and Al Pacino overacting throughout it. But the script was fabulous. We should remake that movie, really, because the lesson is amazing. The lesson is that the devil will come back as a lawyer. Why? Because the law is inside everything. Everything. But remember, Al Pacino had this gorgeous, gorgeous daughter, and she was evil, evil, evil. I mean, just whoa. And she wanted to have incest with her brother so she could have the devil's child. That's what that whole movie was about. But I mean, child abuse and bearing false witness and love thy neighbor. If Jesus were born today as a stranger in a strange land, and that strange land was Mexico, Donald Trump would separate Mary and Jesus at the border and send Jesus to a cage, to a lockup, where, of course, while he was in custody, he would die. So much for the whole New Testament. She said God wanted him to be president. She said, I think he's done a tremendous job in supporting a lot of the things that people of faith really care about. What are those things? Separating children from families, keeping the needy out, caring for the rich, just like the Jesus taught. What are these values that you think he's ushering in? What is it? He's every one of the 7 deadly sins: gluttony, avarice. What is it about him? I don't even understand. It's money. It's all money. You know what I mean? It's got to be money. He has broken every single rule in the Bible with the possible exception of not eating shellfish and pork. And that's only because McDonald's does not serve shrimp. Because if they did, he would eat the shellfish. I mean, and I'm guessing this is the only one he hasn't. This is bizarre. This is a bizarro world. And now he says he's sending more troops to the border because that's what Jesus would do. You know, today we had this massive bust. The feds, the customs, not Border Patrol, customs actually seized a ton, I mean, like almost a ton, 254 pounds, okay, to be realistic, 254 pounds of fentanyl, the synthetic opioid that is blamed for the majority of opioid deaths in this country. They seized 245 pounds of the drug. And guess where they seized it? Was it on some youngster just, trying to breach the wall, or was it through the open desert areas where we must be? No, it was through a legal port of entry. It was an illegal port of entry in Nogales, and it was in a tractor trailer, just like I said. And you know how they found it? A dog. Just saying. A dog. You want an old-fashioned cure to a newfangled problem? Dogs. Not walls. Walls are stupid, and walls are not the right message to send. And they don't do anything. They just come through the legal port. This is commerce, man. This is big freaking business. They put it in a load of cucumbers. And there was produce all around it. And in the middle of it was the fentanyl. Also, there was 395 pounds of methamphetamine. That was twice the size of the previous record of seizures. I mean, the biggest one we ever had before was 118 pounds. Guess where that was found? Guess where that was found? In Nebraska, in a tractor trailer. In a tractor trailer. This case, the tractor trailer was stopped on Saturday trying to enter the U.S. border checkpoint, the legal port of entry in Nogales, Arizona. It was driven by a 26-year-old man, arrested, charged with possession of drugs with the intent to distribute. Maybe it was for personal use. You never know, right? Mm-hmm. The port director, Michael Humphreys, Nogales area port director, praised his staff. He said their attention to small details that's necessary to make these types of seizures is incredible. Fentanyl is responsible for 28,400 overdose deaths in 2017. That's the last year for which figures are available. We're very slow in bringing out our dead. Bring out your dead. We need to count them. So we only, it's 2019. We don't have a figure for last year. Really, that's so sick. But anyway, the DEA said that, fentanyl is 100 times stronger than morphine, and many users believe that they're purchasing heroin, and it's actually not heroin. It's actually fentanyl, and they overdose and they die. And they caught this drug by using an X-ray machine. They X-rayed. They stopped a tractor trailer. They decided to hold it over for additional inspection. They ran it through an X-ray machine. The X-ray machine saw that in the floor of the trailer, in the tractor trailer, the trailer part, that in the floor there was some carve-out. It was some, like I said, this is what they do, to look for carve-outs in chassis or in tire rims or in trunks or in back seats, right? And so they saw something on the floor of the trailer. And so then they pulled over, they brought in their dogs, the canines. And the canines were able to sniff it out because it was in the middle of the trailer's load of cucumbers. And that's how we made the bust. No stinking wall necessary. No stinking wall would be I mean, the wall would not do anything on this topic. Donald. And then, of course, he took my advice. He started saying again that the wall was being built. That was my advice. My advice was just to go ahead and lie to the Cult 45 because they will believe anything. Lie to Al-Qaeda, lie to your base. Just tell them that the wall is built because they won't know the difference. And that is what he's doing. I told him to say the wall was already done. You people said that you were not that stupid. Well, you believe him. And I'll tell you something like that, for the Cult 45 people, they want to live in their own reality. And so in this way, we progressives have to be generous and allow them to decorate their alternate reality any way they would like. And if they want to say that there's a wall, oh no. Sandra Day O'Connor, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, my action figure just...
She's tough, Randy. She's tough.
She better be. She just fell. How are your ribs, baby? I'm going to keep her right here for safekeeping. But, so here's what he tweeted this morning. More troops being sent to the southern border to stop the attempted invasion of illegals through large caravans into our country. We have stopped previous caravans. We will stop these also. While you're decorating your own reality and while you're ignoring your intel community who clearly said in their briefing, their yearly briefing, nothing about the southern border, nothing about an invasion, nothing about it being a security threat to the United States, nothing, no thing at all in their threat assessment that they gave, which you have decided your own people that you hired, you'd rather believe the KGB. You'd rather believe the GRU. You'd rather believe, Vlad is what it is. You'd rather, believe these morons and whatever. Joe Scarborough put it very well this morning, I thought.
Again, people need to stop saying that Donald Trump is taking a different position than all of his intel chiefs, and from the United States military, from the CIA director, from the NSI, from the FBI director, from all the directors that he himself selected, all Republicans. We need to stop saying that Donald Trump is taking a position different than them and just need to start saying the truth, which is Donald Trump is adopting Vladimir Putin's position on the FBI, on the CIA, on Dan Coates, on every intel leader, the military intelligence leaders. He has decided that he is going to adopt the position of an ex-KGB agent instead of the very intel chiefs and the intel community and the military community that he now is supposed to be running.
Absolutely correct, sir.
That's right. So the man in charge of our national security is addressing the threat in his own version of reality. And in his version of reality that he's decorating with a wall, why not a monument to the caravan too? Probably he'll have one of those too in his alternate reality. But that man believes that as commander-in-chief, he needs to focus on the southern border, which is not mentioned by our intelligence agencies as being a threat to the United States. The threat to the United States, as the IC calls it, and they call them the IC because that means intelligence community. And of course, they call Donald Trump an effing moron because he's Donald Trump. This man, in his own reality, has built a wall and painted himself into a corner. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.